Parental discretion is advised.
On this week's edition of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, we have the man himself, IWC Aftershock's Justin Plummer. We talk about video games, Lady AJ, and reminisce about our first indie wrestling experiences. All that and more on this week's...
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Mayhem Show 322. We're still here. Whoa. I'm Sorg, right here in the Mayhem Studios in Pittsburgh, PA, with a whole slew of characters here down and around me. With us on the couch, as usual, is Shachi from Insert Coin to Begin at Shachi Says on Twitter. How you doing?
Hi, I wave to the camera for the audio listeners. This is me waving.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job.
How are you, Sorgatron?
I'm fine. But enough about me. On the Skype line, as usual, is DJ Lunchbox.
Hey, holy shit, it's DJ Lunchbox! That's right, Taco Man Salad is here to entertain your ears! Holy shit!
Also with us from somewhere in Texas, I think it's Corpus Christi, is the Wrestle Fan. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. I just devoured this apple. It's Wrestling Mayhem Show 322.
Time out.
I'm excited. And also, don't forget to check out the great Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold to find out why it's such a shitty power bottom.
Time out. Time out. Wrestle Fan?
Already?
Yes, Wrestle Fan?
Already. Fuck it.
Wrestle
What
Fan.
was that? Less than a minute? Sweet.
Wrestle
Sign
Fan.
up great.
Wrestle Fan?
Yes,
This is going to be real.
Did you pick a hometown yet?
Yes, it's Corpus Christi.
That's the one you're going with forever.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's Apple.
All right.
And also joining us, the man that goes crazy when he goes above 55, Mr. Justin Plummer, host of IWC Aftershock. How you doing tonight, sir?
In the flesh, Mr. Sorg. Actually, this is the part where I had this whole thing planned. I was going to be naked and make a chat roulette joke. My wife told me if I did that she didn't think I'd ever be invited back. So I don't really have anything for you right now, but let's get the thing going.
And little does he know that if he would have done that, he would have become a regular co-host.
Absolutely.
What if I kiss you? I've been practicing this in warm-ups.
And somebody's not getting right to a show again. Okay.
That's how Jimmy DeMarco got in, right, Sorg?
Oh, yeah, it can't be any worse than Jimmy DeMarco. Those have been fun.
We'll see about that.
We'll see. Well, anyways, this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. You come across us at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, or you will, or maybe you won't. I don't know. That's where everything, past episodes, including recent interviews we've been doing here with Ryan Edmonds over at RWA, Rachel Summerlin down in Anarchy Championship Wrestling, and all the past stuff we've done with guys like Jimmy DeMarco, Superfly Snuka. I don't know why I'm plugging interviews this week, but why not, right? You can also drop us a line. We're on Twitter at Mayhem Show. Like us on Facebook. Join the open group where a lot of conversation goes on. Follow us on Google Plus. That's how this entire crew is in the chat room, in the Google Hangout, doing whatever the hell they want back there right now. And they'll be joining us later in the show in the conversation, of course. And in the chat room at live.sorgatronmedia.com every Tuesday starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Roundabouts. Sometimes you get a little bit of a game program in there for some reason. But we're working on that. And you can join us in the chat room like guys like Zero, Matt Carlins, Hey Forn, John Fun Wheels, and others to keep us on our toes all through the show. Hey, drop us an email at goodtimes@wrestlingmayhemshow.com or drop us a line at 412-206-WMS0-9670, or you can go check out our app over on the iOS store for your iPad, iPhones, or on the Amazon App Store for Android phones. WMS Gold, Wrestle Mayhem Show Gold, where we have a little extra content there, plus access to all the episodes and contact information, so you can stay connected with the show right there in one handy-dandy place. So go please check that out and support the Mayhem. Speaking of contact, we did get a voicemail.
That was a tremendous intro. I mean, like, 5-star intro. Like, you took notes. You were taking notes, and you were like, I have to hit all the points this week. Because sometimes you forget something. We all forget these things. It happens. But that was incredible. You hit all the major points, 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I want to see your notes page.
You have my notes page. So we did get a voicemail there. 1 sec, Chachi, we'll come back to you.
What?
Oh, I thought you were doing something there. What? Oh, because we have the voicemail. So here's a voicemail from AJ. It's going to join us a little later if he sticks around in the Hangout.
We're fucking Diggity coming in live from Charlotte, North Carolina. And you motherfuckers need to understand this is the Wrestling Mayhem show. Open your ears and pull your pants down. It's time to have a party. Wow.
Thank you.
I love how long has AJ been in North Carolina, and immediately his accent is just fucking full blown.
No, I would just like to point out that it seems to be the only reason he sent us that voicemail was to include a woo. Therefore, listening to what I told him he had to do last week.
Nice.
It was proper.
It was.
Oh,
it was.
shit.
So, yeah.
Now, this week we are a little light on the fan mail. There's a lot of conversation going on over in the Facebook, the faux book.
The faux book.
In the faux book. So please drop us a line there at goodtimes@wrestlingmayhemshow.com. Converse with us, and we'll bring that up here at the beginning of the show. It's been late this week, just a little bit late. But hey, we'll get back with it. So without further ado, hey, Indie Minute time, WrestleFan.
Indie Minute time. This just came fast this week. This week's Indie Minute, I'm going to start it off with the big news for everyone up in the Pittsburgh area, since that's where most of the hosts here are from, and that's where most of you may be from. I don't know. So basically, Ring of Honor, they're having their show in Pittsburgh coming up in the month of June. I don't remember the exact date. I believe it's the 30th, possibly.
Yes, I believe so.
So basically, the big news is in preparation for that, there will be a world title match at that show in Pittsburgh. First time they've been in Pittsburgh in I want to say 2-3 years. And basically what they are doing is they are going to do a 4-way number one contenders match. And that match will be free streaming on their website. Both for, obviously for their fans, but I think also in a sense of what we talked about a couple weeks ago about how Ring of Honor had their problems with their iPay-per-views on their site. That caused a lot of controversy and a lot of issues from that. So hopefully they will be using this to sort of test out how that goes so they won't have the same issues coming up at their next pay-per-view. But it does have big implications for the Ring of Honor show in Pittsburgh, where the winner of that 4-way match will face Kevin Steen in Pittsburgh for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title. So you can check out that match free streaming. I don't believe when it will be up, but it should. I'm not sure the exact date on that.
I think it's a couple days before, on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
That would make sense. That would seem right. So go to ROHWrestling.com. You can check that out for free. And go order their next iPay-per-view, which should be coming out very soon. And go see what they're doing over there. Speaking of iPay-per-view, the next thing I want to talk about here on the Indie Minute is our good friends over at Chikara. They have a very big iPay-per-view coming up on June 2nd. Which is their event, Chikarasaurus Rex, How to Hatch a Dinosaur, which, amazing title. There's going to be a lot of great action for that. It's going to be a lot of feud-ending stuff. There's the big war between Chikara and the masked invaders known as Gekido. They're having a 10-man tag match to sort of cement that. There's a Lucha de Apuestas match between Hollow Wicked and Tim Donst. For those that don't know, it's basically a hair versus mask match. So that's definitely going to be interesting as well. You can order the iPay-per-view. I believe they're doing it through GoFight Live, but all the information will be at ChikaraPro.com. You can check them out, order the iPay-per-view. Also, pick up any of the DVDs that they have. They have a lot of great stuff coming out. A lot of really interesting stuff. So if you want to go check them out, go to ChikaraPro.com and go support some really great people. And then finally, here on the Indie Minute, something I want to briefly run through, because from what I've seen, June has seemed like it's going to be the month of tournaments for a lot of sense. So I'm just briefly running through that. We're going to be talking later on the show with Justin Plummer on the air. So one of the things I do want to mention is IWC Super Indy, which is coming up June 23rd, which is a Saturday.
Look at that
a lot of
question
great
mark
talents,
right
both
there.
from
That's gonna be
IWC
my
and
face.
from, in general, the independents. A lot of big names will be there competing for the Super Indie title in that tournament. It's going to be a really awesome show. Also on the 23rd, if you are not in the Pittsburgh area, and if you are in the Delaware area, and you are looking to do something in Delaware, because I don't know what you do in Delaware, really, CDW will be hosting their Tournament of Death annual tournament. It's going to be a very interesting show. I normally don't mention CZW a lot, but one of the big things is that it will feature one of the names that they are bringing in is from Anarchy Championship Wrestling here in Texas. Scott Summers will be making his CZW debut, so that is going to be very interesting stuff. If you like the deathmatch style of wrestling, you'll definitely love Tournament of Death. It's going to be a very interesting show. If you want tickets, information, I believe it's in Townsend, Delaware on June 23rd, which is a Saturday. Go to czwrestling.com and get your tickets there. And the final note that I want to make is our friends at Anarchy Championship Wrestling down here in Texas. More information has come about the 2012 Queen of Queens tournament, which is their big American Joshi tournament of the year. All 8 names have been announced, including former WWE Women's Champion Jazz, former TNA Knockout Christina Von Eerie will be there. Friend of the show of the Wrestling Mayhem show, in our interview from last week, Rachel Summerlin will be participating. And a lot of big names. All the participants have been announced, and the non-tournament matches for the event have been announced. You can get your tickets at anarchychampionshipwrestling.com. Go check them out. It's going to be a really awesome event. Definitely something you don't want to miss. And also, Anarchy Championship Wrestling has their newest titles out on Smart Mark Video on Demand, which you can order only $9.99, which is cheaper than actually buying the actual DVD. You have it on your computer. There's no period as to when you could watch it. You can watch it whenever you want off of Smart Mark Video's streaming service, which is really great. So check them out and go support our friends over at Anarchy Championship Wrestling. And there is one more note on the Indie Minute, but I'm going to pass the boat off to our good friend John Fun over in the Google Hangout, because he has something I believe he wants to discuss.
Is he there?
Discuss. Yes, here I am. Yes, speaking of friends of the show, last night I was in attendance for a wrestling match while you all were probably watching Monday Night Raw in a hangout somewhere with Ryan Edmonds, and he was interviewed a couple weeks ago here on the show, and he was originally scheduled to face Lodi. At the last minute, the promoter decided to try and get someone with a little bit bigger name. Well, he did such, and that was Matt Hardy. So I get down there, and apparently we have about 8 matches booked, and about 5 to 10 minutes before the main event, the promoter tries to skip town. If you are in the wrestling business, I am telling any promoter out there via this medium, get the hell out of Dodge and stop doing this to the wrestling boys. All right? These guys come out to put on a show for people out in the middle of almost nowhere sometimes, in front of either 50, 100, 200, 300 people, RWAs, NWAs, whatever federation, organizations. This is, like I said, going to be a promo. I'm apologizing now for it. But don't do it. We had a debacle happen, and it happens a lot of times here down in West Virginia for whatever gosh darn reason. And there you go.
Now, is this somebody that was running like several shows, or was this kind of like a one-off show?
This guy has run several shows before without incident.
Yeah.
But in previous times, he has pulled something like this.
Okay.
So, and guess what his name is? Take a wild guess.
I'm seeing. Actually, I've seen, because I've seen it all over the internet now.
Internet.
It's shady.
Okay.
Shady.
I'm sorry. I have to make this comment. Why would you want to work with anybody with that name anyways?
That's a red flag to begin with.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
a
know
family name.
why do you work with somebody named Feel Bad?
Well, good point. Good point.
But that's all I've got. I just wanted to put my piece out there because I ended up being the one pretty much reporting it, because I walked up and Ryan literally flagged me to the ring and said, "This is what's going down." I mean, he said the crap has hit the fan. He's like, "I want something positive out of this. Get some good pictures with Matt and myself," which if you're on my Facebook, a lot of you probably either seen it or I'm going to drop them to the Mayhem Wrestling Show group later tonight so you all can see them. I'll keep them public. I really don't care half the time because I've gotten to that point of where I'm in media.
Is this them?
Will throw it out there.
It looks like they're shared on Edmund's Facebook page here.
Yes, they are on his page. That's where I told him they would directly be uploaded. But it ended up being, he said they originally were going to be in a full-bore main event match, I guess 10, 20 minutes, whatever you want to call it, but it ended up being because of the booker pulling rank and saying, "Oh, I don't have money." Basically them pointing each other, working the crowd, and the final shot. The final shot is that's right before the final shot. The top one is the pin, right there.
And it looks like it doesn't look like it was very well attended.
That was about. It was an outdoor show, which I did not know it was. I don't know how long it was promoted, but the last show that I was at in March was indoors, and it pulled about 300 or 400, and that was the first time Lodi showed up. I mean, it was a packed house. But that one was probably about 100, give or take.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it didn't have
it's always sad when you hear these kind of stories because it's just and honestly it's everywhere. I don't think there's one wrestler out there that doesn't have a story of a promoter stiffing them or and it's just horrible for the business and that stuff kind of just really bugs me and I can see where that frustration comes from because it's just.
I agree with you, WrestleFan. Well, it's pathetic whenever a guy gets into the wrestling industry, books a show, and I'm going to go on a simple booking basis here. Say you want 5 singles matches. Say that means you need at least 2 guys. Say you're paying them $100 each. That's 5 times the 10. That's 10 guys. 10 times 100. $1,000. Yeah. $1,000. So you need $1,000 right there to cover their payment. Mm-hmm. So if you do not know how to do basic math, get the hell out of wrestling. At least that much. Get the hell out.
At least don't be the guy handling the money at that point, right?
Yes.
And none of us are bookers here. I mean, none of us have put on a show. As that guy. But we hear about it. I mean, that was north of here. I want to say, like, up in Butler, there was a guy that pulled this. And that's the one where
that was that Balls Mahoney.
Balls Mahoney went to his house to find him when he didn't get paid. So...
And it really is everywhere. Like, I don't think there's one specific region that has it the worst. Like, Texas wrestling, they have some of the best promotions here, but there's also some of the shittiest.
Yeah, and you have that all.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
But in the meantime, if you want a T-shirt from the show, it looks like Ryan Edmonds has a lot of them.
I believe so. I believe he did take a box from the fellow, and if you are looking for them, look up Ryan Edmonds on Facebook, and I believe they were, I think, $10 or $20 a pop, so he may be able to sell them to you either cheaper or more, depending on how he's feeling.
I'm sure you're able to get them for a steal at this point.
Is this guy's real name? Is this guy's name Tim Shady?
I'm not for certain if it's Tim Shady. I believe this one is Richard Shady.
I was going to say, the real Slim Shady, not Skip Town.
Well, in 2005, there was a guy named Tim Shady who did this in Ohio and owed basically all of indie wrestling money.
He may be the same guy that also did it down here in Bluefield, which he got busted for because he did it at Christmas time and hired real cops as security. And they said, Yeah, and
Oh.
DDP was booked on the show. You can look it
I
up on
remember
YouTube.
hearing about that.
Yes, that was the
That
last
was
screw
Chance
job down
Prophet
there.
was on that show too.
Chance Prophet was on that show. I'm
His
gonna
name's-
pull a
Wait, his name is Dick Shady.
Oh, thanks, Bobby.
Definitely know. Don't tell anybody named Shady, folks. Just don't.
Yeah, no shadies. No anybody named Shady.
You should probably change your name at this point.
Other direction, please, for the love of God and everything good, go the other direction.
Man, now I'm finding a new nickname.
Riz Shady.
Riz Shady.
Riz Shady is now changing his name thanks to this story. Thanks a lot. So, yeah, and he's come up every once in a while. But thanks, we have an eyewitness there, and he's got great pictures. Go check him out. Like I said, he'll post. It's over on Ryan Emmons' page. If you have him on Facebook, and it'll be in the open group if you're joined us there as well.
Oh,
so.
And they'll be on johnfun.biz.
Johnfun.biz.
They're not all there yet, but they will be on there.
Excellent. And you got a few wrestling pictures and some other stuff up there. So everybody go check that
There's
out.
a lot there. That's the archive.
Excellent. So with that, was there anything else there, Wrestle fan?
That is all. It concludes this week's In the Minute.
Excellent. So
in a minute.
Justin Plummer, I wanted to give you a few minutes here, sir.
Yes, thank you. What do you want? What do you want me to talk about? Because I got a lot.
Well, first of all, as everybody knows, you, as you can tell by the signs behind him, if you're on our video version here, Justin Plummer is the spearheaded the video movement on IWC in recent months. Was that a quotation marks?
Well, I was going to offer to show you my IWC tattoo.
Oh, I see.
I think I already promised you I'd keep my pants on the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
All right, hold on.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, that's what I signed up
It was
for.
quick. I think my mom might be watching this, so I got to be careful. I told her to check it out.
Oh, wow. Did you, you know what kind of show this is, right?
So watch your language, guys.
Fuck. But anyways, I want to ask is I definitely wasn't involved in this aspect of it. Where did Aftershock come from, and what are you guys trying to do, or what are you trying to do over there with Aftershock and IWC?
Aftershock started, just how I ended up with the IWC is kind of a mystery upon itself, but it was one of those things that just kind of happened. After about being with the company for 5 or 6 months, Chuck had talked about wanting to potentially go back to television, but he wanted to start a web show first.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me a basic framework of what he wanted, and then he really, which was really cool, left it up to me. And so it was just a big brainstorming session, and I wish I could take all the credit myself, but the Aftershock name actually was an idea of my wife, so I got to give her credit on that one. And, we started off, obviously, as you can tell, zero experience with anything, and I just went out, bought a video camera, and I had free reign to backstage, and he said cover the stories and do what you got to do. So it kind of started off as just me with a camera running around. Since then, and since people recognize me back there now, it's got a little more structured, but it's still, I walk into shows literally not knowing what in the hell I'm going to do until I'm there. And really what we want to do is we want to give these guys these personalities, because everyone can see them wrestle and everyone sees them on the DVDs, but they don't get a chance to talk a lot and they don't get a chance to show their character. And that's really what we want to do. We want to give them opportunity to get their personalities across and to really develop their character and give the online fans something more to see other than just the typical updates that we've been having. So I think so far it's been good. Look at that guy. That
you got a desk and everything? Where did you get this? You got a nameplate? You really
Freaking fancy.
Man,
This is the IWC corporate headquarters that I am sitting in right now, believe it or not.
Look at you, Jack Tunney motherfucker right there.
Well, you know what? I just you got to look good. You got to have a good place to go. Actually, this is where I used to film everything. I bounce around because I'm still trying to perfect the lighting and the sound, and I got a long way to go. But things happen, remodeling happens, and you just kind of have to adjust and roll with it. So that's why I moved to the IWC corporate headquarters, where I'm at right now.
Excellent. Excellent. It looks like it's really well received. We got Haythorn that came this way into the show from IWC Wrestling, and he's enjoying it. It looks like people are watching it, man.
It's crazy. Coming from a guy that really just has no idea. I really had no idea what I was doing when I was starting, and I hate to say that I have any idea what I'm doing now, other than just going out and being myself and working with these guys. This is one of my favorites. I actually talked about this on a radio show that I did last night. It was an Can I tell this story real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Okay. For those, I just let this run here.
I'm posting, all this stuff to try to get some people that may not have heard of the Wrestling Mayhem show to watch. And as I'm posting it, I get a message from a guy, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but whatever. But a guy that I'm doing a show on Sci-Fi with is starting in June, and he had me call in, and it's paranormal related. He had me call in to this radio show. I want to say it real quick because they let me plug your show on it.
Sure, go for it.
The Dead Air Radio Show, and they actually, I called in. I got to bullshit about wrestling basically the entire time, but they kept trying to swerve it back towards the paranormal discussion. But for some reason, they didn't want to talk about our show on Sci-Fi, so they were asking, since you're always traveling around with all these guys, what was the scariest paranormal moment you may have encountered on your travels? And I said, I got to be honest with you. The scariest moment I had was actually encountering a 6'4", 330-pound cross-dresser named Super Oprah, and I was drug into the shower by her, and it was just this horrible experience. And we all do our fake laugh like it was funny what I said. And look at this. Oh yeah.
So for those on audio, the ladies are on screen.
So yes, the ladies. The first time I've ever ventured into the locker room. But anyway, so I make this Super Oprah reference. And, the show goes on, and he goes on to his other guests and kind of wants to hear the same deal. What was your most fearful experience since you've gotten in the field? And these are all paranormal experts. So the one guy's staying at a hotel. It used to be a brothel. He's going to bed. He feels a hand flirtatiously run through his hair. And then he says he feels something poking at his buttocks, okay? So I'm like, this is prime opportunity to get a Super Oprah reference in. So I said, hey, that's kind of like my experience with Super Oprah. I can really relate to what you're talking about. Dead silence. No laugh. It's crickets. I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay, maybe, these guys are getting serious now. They're talking about their paranormal activity, and maybe I shouldn't be making jokes. So I listened to the archive audio this morning, and the guy's giving his speech, and I jump in, and I guess my phone cut out. So as he's saying, I start getting poked in the rear end by this paranormal being. All that you hear me say is, I can really relate to that, and that's it. So I think I scared the hell out of all of these people in an effort just to plug your show. So I hope you appreciate me making a complete ass of myself. And I hope I gave the right website. I was kind of under pressure at that point, but
excellent. LB, you approve of that?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the proper way to act.
Excellent. So what are you up to? You're up to 10 episodes here. This mostly goes up after shows within the next week after the shows. So pretty timely.
Yeah, I try to get it up. Actually, most of the time I have it ready to go the next day, but by the time it gets to the review process and gets up on the website, it usually takes about a week.
Yeah.
But I'm filming the segues the next day. I like to do it while everything's fresh in my head, while the sequence of events are still good. And the toughest challenge I have is I like to try to do fun stuff on the show, but I got to remember that I'm actually covering the events that happen. So, ending up in a shower with Super Oprah isn't always the best. I love it. Dalton Castle's got to be part of the show every time, and we're seeing footage of that now. That is one of those things that it was another fluke. I mean, the guy was brand new. He actually started in Newell, West Virginia the first time we were out there, and I was filming a promo. I don't even know if I was part of the promo, but here's a guy that was, nobody knew him when he came in, and his charisma and his camera presence was just so good that he really took off from there. And as everyone knows now, he's one of the top guys in the IWC, and he's certainly earned all that on his own. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe Aftershock had a little bit to do with that. I don't know. And
it definitely gave him a platform to be him, or whatever, whatever it is he is.
And unfortunately, though, a lot of the fans at the show don't even know that we have a website, and that's something I'm trying to work to change.
Yeah.
Because we do have a banner up now at court time, but it's not located in the best area, so I'm going to try to get a hold of them and see if they can move it. Because one of my jobs is to just go out during intermission and talk to people and kind of just try to be the liaison between the company and the fans. And a lot of them don't even know we have a website, which just kills me because there's so much good stuff on IWCWrestling.com that it sucks that people are missing out on it. But Dalton's great to work with from a certain standpoint, I guess, if I can overlook the fact that I look like a complete ass every time I have him on.
Well, I do give you guys a lot of credit for a couple episodes that you guys had the first ever pillow fight in IWC.
That's right, and I almost won. I almost had that one. And, you talk about Easter eggs and interesting things that you might want to keep your eye out for. If you look really closely, I have my favorite pair of boxer briefs on. And for a split second, as I'm going flying off the bed and into the lockers, you can see them. So take a look. Go back. I think that's episode 9.
I am going right now.
Or where's the footage at?
I didn't cue that one for some reason here. Although I do like that Pedro was back there announcing on the head of the bed somehow.
Yeah, Pedro is very agile for a ring announcer, and I think that's why he's so good at his job.
Yes, he is.
Other than his amazing voice and incredible memory when it comes to the hometowns and the weights of every one of the wrestlers. He's so light on his feet, and he's got great balance. So Pedro's the man. And actually, when I was trying to get into the IWC, I had heard that Chuck had moved on, and I had a couple of connections, and I called and I said, hey, I'd love to do ring announcing. And Chuck said to me, well, have you ever done ring announcing before? And I said, a couple of weddings, but no. He said, have you ever been to an IWC show? No, I haven't. Did you buy any of our DVDs? No, I own no DVDs. So it was just going terrible, and I thought, there's no way this guy's going to call me back and let me do anything. But luckily, Pedro was sick, or he might have been doing a PWO or something, I don't know, but he wasn't able to be in Clearfield about a year or so ago. And I kind of got the opportunity. And Chuck is great because he has a really uncanny ability to look at somebody and know what role they will best play. And he's actually the one that came to me and said, you know what? You did great, you did fine, but I think I have something better for you. And I had no idea. When he told me I was going to be interviewing guys, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What do you want me to do? I don't know what to do with that. But it ended up working out. Now I'm hosting Aftershock. I love it. And I don't have many details on what's in store for the future, but I think 2012, by the end of the year, we have a couple other things in store, might take us up to the next level. I'm really excited with what the IWC is doing right now. Really excited to be a part of them. And that's why you see my signs and the tattoo that you couldn't see displaying my IWC pride, because without those guys, I wouldn't have had a chance to get into the business and meet all these incredible guys that are also involved.
Of course, as I show the pillow fight.
You see, I didn't want to wear a shirt underneath there. That was a big thing for me. I feel like that's why I didn't have a chance. See, I'm not afraid of low blows. I will hit you in your balls. I will pull your hair, and I will bite you in any type of fight. And I'm not afraid. But it didn't work. And, it just happens to go that way. But as the fans, I mean, the fans are starting to love this guy, even though he's a complete goofball. And he's kind of like just an arrogant asshole, I guess you could say. I hate to say that. But something about him, it's grown on him. So I decided, if the fans are going to like Dalton Castle, I'm going to give him a chance. We'll see how he turns it around. Would like to have seen him in the Super Indy tournament, though. Unfortunately, it looks like he's missing out on that. But we'll see. He says he's going to beat Super Indy. We'll see what he has in store.
Excellent. Well, you talked about how you went from kind of not really having a place to talking to these guys. You've talked to some pretty decent names. You have a favorite kind of moment from the series so far?
If I had to pick, no, it's so tough because everything is enjoyable on different levels. I mean, obviously, like I've just been saying, and I don't want to hit on this too much, but stuff with Dalton's a lot of fun. But when we do the Legend shows, and unfortunately Aftershock wasn't around for that first Legend show, but going into Night of the Superstars and getting to do stuff with Carlito, Chavo Guerrero, Gail Kim, Mick Foley, and how easy they all are to work with, because the number one thought is, who am I? I'm just some guy that works for an indie fed. I do a web show that gets, between 400 and 1,000 views. Why would they want to waste their time with me? But what's really cool with these guys is, before I could even get finished asking, let's go. What do you want to talk about? What do you want us to do? They're so on board with everything, all of them. I mean, Chavo, you're seeing footage of Chavo and Shima right now. Chavo was great. Carlito was great to work with. Mick was great to work with. I unfortunately caught him at the end of the night, so he was a little bit tired and worn out. I had a couple of plans set up for him, but we had to scrap those. But it was still an awesome experience to get to have big names like that have accomplished so much in the industry come in and be so willing to do a show for the IWC.
Excellent. So go check it out. It's on his YouTube account. Plummer Loves You.
Yes, because I just love everybody. It's incredible. I just want to hug and grope every person I see, including you, Sorg.
And that's why he's the liaison for the fans at IWC Wrestling. This is what you can expect at Super Indy.
They're so great.
Hide at intermission, folks.
Well, considering that I spent, I don't know, a decent amount of time in the car sitting right next to him, I can attest that he does like to grope.
Yeah, I mean, I told you to wear a condom, and I kind of wasn't joking.
Yeah. Oh. Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
And that's why Sorg's wife will never allow me to carpool with him again.
That's right. He's definitely questionable after
Chuck had me pulling triple duty. I was exhausted. I told you, when I get tired, I get crazy. And, I don't have to carpool, and I actually prefer not to, but I want to do stuff like that just to get to know everybody. And, Sorg's a great guy, and I love what he's doing with the DVDs and everything. I think he's doing an awesome job. And actually, without you, Sorg, I don't think Aftershock would be what it is, because you're so quick to get me all this footage. It's awesome. So I said, I'm going to ride with him. I know Dabrowski's going to be there and a couple of others. So let's all just, I'll do it and meet everybody. Well, I parked at Sorg's house. Sorg then went and picked up a few other people. So naturally, I'm going to be the last one dropped off, okay, because he's going home. I scared his wife so bad that she drove 15 minutes out of her way to drop me off back at her house first and then go and drop everybody else off. So I'm going to publicly apologize for whatever it was I said. And I think it had something to do with like a Great Khali and Kane dream match. I think that's when we kind of crossed the line. All the sexual jokes were all right, but then when I started talking about how I think the Great Khali is the greatest thing going right now, she booted me.
even she said that's enough at that point. Exactly.
Do you see the way he just axes people with his hand? And he's like 7 foot, 8 foot tall.
Hey, have you seen his devastating tag team on NXT with his Ezekiel Jackson? Devastating.
Oh God, I'm so glad I didn't watch that episode.
Oh yes, it's been 2 episodes. What are you talking about?
I've been behind.
Well, you might want to skip those parts. Just wait for the Full Sail episodes, right? So
yeah.
Excellent.
Wait, can I just clear my name real quick? Khali is not my favorite. I don't want people to completely lose respect for me. I do. I'm a big fan of guys that look the part, and I think I took a little far by saying Khali was the man. But sorry, Mrs. Sorg. Hey. I will. I want redemption. I want another chance. And this time my shirt will stay on. I promise.
Oh! You said it gets crazy over 55. CPT Brad in the chat room has something for you here. Says, give yourself some credit, Plummer. You work hard on these shows, and I'm sure the big name guys like Carlito and Mick recognize it and enjoy being on it themselves.
Well, that's awesome to hear stuff like that. So that's great. Thank you very much. It means a lot. I do. I probably on a week of a show, if you include showtime, and Sorg can attest to this because he drove me, and the painstaking extra time he had to put in when we were the last people in the building still trying to film stuff. And then all the hours of when you put a guy like me into video editing I just got Skype yesterday to do this show, and then you tell me to edit a show together. It might take me 20 hours of total time in a week to put this together, and maybe somebody more talented could do it in 5 or 6, but I do put a lot of time into it, so thank you very much. That's awesome. That's really...
Hey, stick around with us and bullshit about some wrestling. Sir?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm leaving, man. I got a doctor's appointment. No, of course, yeah, I'd love to stick around. This is
awesome,
great.
Awesome. Well, we're going to hit the break. We're going to give you guys a peek at what's going on at Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold. A little preview of what's going on in RWA. That DVD releases this week for No Retreat 4, I believe is the name. That's bad that I don't know it. It's on the site by the time you get this, I'm sure. So go check that out. We'll be right back with Remember When and Mad Mike's Minute of Mayhem and more with Plummer in the Hangout.
I'm the real champion round here.
Well, it's good.
Please tell me that's on WMS Gold. That's gotta make WMS.
Gonna start hitting you until you admit that Final Fantasy X sucked balls.
Play it.
I've played it.
What the fuck? Oh my god, I feel like something is wrong with me. The voices in my head, they are really starting to bother me, haunting me. Every step I take, I know they are to me. They tell me try to kill them, but I know that they are taunting me. Pray to what I might do if I lose the concentration, end up in a position of...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wrestling Mayhem Show. We're still here. We got the Hangout open, and we got Plummer still with us. Yes, we didn't scare him away yet. But his grandmother, on the other hand, may be a different story. But it's now for that time of the show where we reminisce and look back and remember when. This week on Remember When, I wanted to. I think it's appropriate considering what we've been talking about lately. To look back. LB.
I don't know.
LB. Wow. But no, look
Summer has brought the craziness on all of us.
Yes, he has.
I ruin everything always. I just have that thing.
I didn't say you ruined it. I said you just brought it out on us more.
Sorg's wife's not going to let him do the show anymore now because I've been here.
Nope.
Sorry, ruined it.
But anyways, I thought it'd be a look good. And I don't think we've done this before, collectively at least. Looking back on what was your first memory, what was your first indie show? I know for Chachi and I think we have the same one because I think, both of us, that was our first exposure to the indies. Was IWC. I believe it was Boiling Point 2, and they had a tournament for a vacant title, IWC title. Low Key was there. Ricky Reyes actually won the title, who just got jobbed on SmackDown this week with Ryback. Chachi, what were your thoughts of it? I think I had to talk you into going along with it, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Of course. Surprise.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to go.
And that was like the only time I sat general admission too.
But I remember thinking that both Loki and Reyes are really stiff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to get fake hit by any of them because it would still hurt.
You're likely just going to get actual hit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say, ask McChesney. Look at that poor boy.
Oh,
good grief.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Hey, I think that was the first time us meeting. I don't know if we met, but we saw Wheels and his crew over there. We're still going to those shows. And it was, I know Loki was kind of the bigger name that I think I knew going into it. But I think that was about it for the most part. Trying to look it up to remember what happened at that show. But then we ended up coming back, and I ended up dragging guys like LB, and I think that was the next one was your first indie show, right?
Let me take you back to a show, an excellent show. I don't remember who all was on the card, but I remember the main event was Hentai, who was a heel at the time, against Balls Hot Troy Lords, and they had a last man standing match. And
Tuck your wiener.
holy shit.
Well, it was
fucking insane.
Yeah, it was last man standing, and they incorporated the ladder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ladder was nuts. Troy Lords really busted his ass in that match, and it was super impressive. But interestingly enough, that was not my first indie wrestling show.
Really?
I have a dimmer memory of back when I was very, very young, and anybody who's watched the show for any length of time know that I'm into professional wrestling because it was something that me and my grandfather did. We always watched it together and saw the pay-per-views. Well, one time he took me to an indie wrestling show. I remember almost nothing about it. The only thing I remember was like the big name at the time that I recognized was Doink the Clown, and I fucking hated Doink the Clown.
Don't even go there.
But we were in a gymnasium and we had ringside seats, and it was pretty fucking awesome.
Awesome. Let's go around. WrestleFan, what was your first show? And I
I gotta step it up since I'm the indie wrestling correspondent. And this is the thing. I talk about all these. I go to all these great indie groups now. They do amazing stuff up in the Texas area, San Antonio, Austin. I live in Corpus Christi, and for those that may not know, Corpus Christi has nothing. Nothing. There is zero indie wrestling here, and let it be known that I'm the guy that does the indie wrestling report on this show. So, be that as it may. And I never really got to trip up to like San Antonio or Austin or something. Really?
In case people weren't aware.
There's the Google Maps.
The only wrestling we ever get here is WWE
here's some
shows,
other
and it
reports.
usually involves someone going into the river in a Gulf of Mexico match.
Yeah.
And this is the honest story. My first ever independent wrestling show was, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. Because it was me, Sorg, and the Sorg clan, and the Mayhem Show clan, going to Chikara in Cleveland, Ohio.
That's right.
I remember that.
That was honestly my first independent wrestling show. And the energy was amazing. You know, it caught my eye. This was the show when Bryan Danielson was released from WWE from the whole tie choking Justin Roberts incident. And all that buzz that was around it, and all that, energy from the people. And I remember everyone throwing ties into the ring like they were streamers, and it was an amazing event. And to see all that, to see all the young people that were just working hard, doing their thing, and their love for the fans, and their the interaction that they had with the fans. I think one of the members of
so, just in case you were wondering.
But
he's far away.
wrestlers' interaction with the fans was something very new to me. I'd never seen that before. I think one of the wrestlers from Chikara took a bite of David Ordemira's nachos. I remember that very clearly. It was just amazing stuff, and I got hooked ever since. And I'm so glad that I get to go to like great shows now in Texas, like ACW, where they put on amazing talent, amazing local talent, and then also great talent from all around the independents. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
Excellent. Plummer, what was your first indie experience?
The first indie that I remember, because there weren't many before IWC, but I used to go, and I hate to say this, but I used to go to Eastland Mall, which I think was a PWX, is where they ran out of when I was a really little kid. And the only thing I remember is the main event being some sort of weapons match between Shane Douglas, Bubba the Bulldog, he was throwing up the hooks back then, and it was Samu of the Head Shrinkers, and he came out to Gangsta's Paradise, which I thought was awesome. It was just the most incredible thing, and he used my Pepsi can to hit somebody in the head. Nice. And that's all I remember from that show, so I don't even know if that counts. Actually, I remember a guy, one of the drunk fans, jumping in a shopping cart. So it's a weapons match. He jumped in a shopping cart, and he had a hat that was like the head of a penis on, and he had a broomstick, and his friend rolled him right past the ring, and he was like marching on through with this shopping cart. So Unfortunately, that's
Sounds
my
like
only
a party,
memory
man.
from that show. I couldn't even name another guy. Maybe Gator. Was Gator around back then? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Gator was the man. I guess he's still around, right? Gator?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
showing
still
my
around.
ignorance now. The show I remember the most was, though, in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was probably 2005,
Butler, PA.
2005-ish. It was FNW. Chuck Roberts was the ring announcer. And, CJ Sensation, who I know from a little while ago.
Hold on.
He was
Wait,
on
wait,
the
wait.
card.
Is this
a
Gator?
great guy.
Is that Gator?
That looks like Gator.
I was going to say that's the size of Gator.
Yeah, that's got to be Gator.
Awesome.
That's Joe Dombrowski. Joe Dombrowski, he can tell you the history of the PWX from back then, back in the day when they were on TV. He actually owns them all on DVD somehow. Yeah. And anyways, this FNW show. So Chuck Roberts is the ring announcer. CJ Sensation was there. I know Jimmy DeMarco and Marshall Gambino came out billed as, because I taped this because it was on local access cable, and that's, just like Monday Night Raw, I got to be on TV every chance I get. So I'm just pouring myself out in front of the camera, doing whatever I can to get on. And Jimmy DeMarco came out with Marshall Gambino as the Gambino brothers. I don't know how that worked out because I didn't know the storylines. Shima Zion wrestled Jason Gorey for the FNW Cruiserweight title, and those guys really, that being my only indie show as a semi-adult, those two really stood out to me. I mean, Shima at the time, especially with his charisma and everything. I'm glad. It's so exciting to see where he's come to today from back then. But even watching him back then, you could tell he had something. And I think Demolition Axe, I think this is the second reference I've made of him, but he was there, and that's the reason I went. These guys, I go to see the old guys like Jim Duggan and Axe, and then Matt Morgan and Calvin McGrath was the main event.
Excellent. And that seemed like the way when we started going to IWC, because we'd go see names like, Low Key or somebody we heard about like from Ring of Honor. We started hearing rumblings of, because we had started a Wrestling Mayhem show, and I think LB was introducing me to a lot of stuff with like Samoa Joe and all these guys, and I saw on the site that guys like I think the show we went to was right after the big War Games happened and the double ring and AJ Styles versus Christian, so it was like, oh wow, look at these guys, but you stay for the talent,
Oh yeah, definitely. And when Chuck answers his phone and we talk about this. I don't even know if this is something we talked about, but I try to think, now that I've been around a while, it's kind of tainted, and I don't have that unbiased view. But I try to think back to, as someone in my late teens, early 20s, what drew me to that FNW show, since that was the only show I went to. Yeah. And it was, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it was somebody like, hey, here's Demolition Axe. Well, I grew up watching this guy, I gotta go see him. This is great. But then when you get there, that's when you see guys like Shima that really stand out and they make you want to go back. And I really think that's what draws, whether you like it or not, and whether they can still wrestle or not. A lot of these older guys sticking around, drawing fans in that may typically not come to an indie show because there's no big names driving it. But I think once you get them in, if you have the talent, you can keep them. And that's kind of how I got back into the whole thing.
Definitely. Dropping to the Hangout, Bobby F. J-Town. What was your first?
You can skip me.
What?
I was gonna say, you can skip me.
Why?
No.
He's
never
pooping right now.
What? You've never been to an...
I've never actually been to...
for as much as we heard about AON...
I didn't get to an AON show.
Oh, wow. Well, you better report on Phoenix for us real soon.
We've got to get you up here for Super Indie, my
I'll go
friend.
to the next Phoenix Pro
That's
show.
it. All you guys got to come up here for Super Indie. Wheels.
I'll be there. Confirming now.
What was your
Great
first?
idea.
My first, wow. This is kind of funny. Justin was just talking about, like, PWX and all that, but mine was from around this area, like, the little California area, was CWF with Powerhouse Shoes and
I remember them.
DJ Sensation, and that's where I met a lot of the guys, and it didn't have a name. I was like, I loved wrestling, and I'm like, this will be something different. I've never experienced live wrestling. So I went to that, and I'm like, now today I realized, well, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, after that it was IWC was my next one I went to, and I saw a lot better talent there. And no offense to Powerhouse's company or anything, but IWC drew me with the names.
Mhm.
But like you said, I like the whole aspect of the other talent, like the DeMarcos, the Shimas, the Gories, and I mean, that's what I'm still a fan, even though I may work as a sound guy. I sit there and I watch it as a fan.
Yeah. John Fun, how about you?
You're going to need like a dream sequence effect right about now. My first indie show.
What if I turn myself into a baby?
Was back in September of 1998, right out of high school. For the now this name, it was a duplicate name. They were using the same name as a bigger organization on the whole entire East Coast at the time called ACCW, which there was the ACCW West Virginia at the time. And I happened to find a Wrestle America with one of the big indie, special indie information listings. And it listed like NWA Wildside, like one of the ones that used to run, or NWA Bluegrass, NWA Mountain State, NWA Premier, NWA Hollywood. It listed all them, plus other organizations like AIWF, IWC, and I happened to find a website URL. And I had just gotten on the internet in 1997 in dial-up. You love the wonderful dial-up, don't you?
Yep.
None of this would be possible on dial-up right now. You would be sitting here watching it chop up even worse than whatever lag it occasionally has.
And if
You would be
anyone
going,
answered the
"What's
phone,
going on?"
you're fucked.
Yeah, but I found the website, got on there. I was like, hey, this is only 2 hours away. And West Virginia is kind of like Pennsylvania, very rural in some places. So I had to drive 2 hours to Clarksburg to the show. I think it was either Clarksburg or Buchanan, somewhere up the road, where I had to get my dad and go on a car trip. And got up there, and I'd made signs because I did the Lodi sign guy gimmick. That's why I love Lodi. I actually sent him Twitter messages. I got into, and that was before I knew it was actually called gimmick too. I got up there and I had signs for everybody, and they were like, you gotta come back, because I'd made signs for like Tarantula, who was one of their bigger draws at the time. The promoter brought in him. He was a WCW Saturday Night guy and also appeared a few times for the WWE. Bobby Blaze out of Ashland, Kentucky, who was also a big Smoky Mountain Wrestling star at the time. Who else? Oh, Bad Boy Eddie Edmonds. Ryan Edmonds' father was wrestling at the time, and he's one of the ones that really got me interested, because he had this, it was a very simple Baltimore Bad Boys gimmick. He came out with the former professional baseball player. He played in the minor leagues, Mike Morgan. He played up in Pittsburgh for about 2 or 3 years, and he got out of it and went into professional wrestling. He ended up meeting with Eddie Edmonds, Bad Boy Eddie Edmonds, and they formed the Baltimore Bad Boys. They were tag teams champions of ACCW. By the end of the year, they had a big feud with Brute Shooter and Seth James, who's also big out of Pittsburgh. He's like almost 38 now, 36, 30. He's getting old. He used to be on he was on Velocity a few times before it was canceled back about, 5-6 years ago now. But I mean, everywhere got me. I got to know the guys. I got in. The promoter, because I kept bringing signs back, he loved it, because he was like, and I was like, so how do I get in? And that's when I met. So that's when I broke in and met Frank Parker and other semi-big names at the time, and it was a fun event. I stuck with them until they changed names. They changed from ACCW to MDW, just to wonderful time, and sorry that I give out this wealth of information at times.
It's all right, man. It's all right. All right, Riz, final one here. Riz, you're muted.
I'm muted.
You're
As I usually stated here on the Wrestling Mayhem show, my first IWC moment was at No Excuses, which featured Matt Hardy and AJ Styles. And even though I don't like Matt Hardy as a person, the match he put on with AJ Styles during that match was perfect. And like you said before, I came to watch AJ Styles and Matt Hardy, but I stayed to watch guys like Delirious for the first time, Evan Bourne, which was Matt Sydal.
Oh yeah, that was that motherfucker's name.
and a great host of others. Like I think I saw the Gambino brothers there the first time. Jimmy DeMarco was there the first time. Vendetta I think that was one of his first times there. But going even further than that, my first ever wrestling show, I don't know how many years ago it was. I don't know I don't know like what year it was, who was there, what was there. All I know is that at Deaf WrestleFest, it was my friend was deaf, so he took me front row to the show. And the only thing I remember is I have a picture with the Bushwhackers.
Whoa!
And they are licking my head. Take that as you will. That was probably the best moment I've ever had as a wrestling. Just
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Nice. Yeah, and Deaf Russell, I'm bringing up their page over at deafwrestlefest.vze.com. They've been around for a long time.
Since
and that was
94.
I think I was either at 94 or 90. One of the ones that aren't posted on there.
Yeah. They have a lot of kind of missing results here up on their page, but wow.
I think one of my funniest experiences of hearing about Deaf WrestleFest, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, Riz, was when J-Roo, I guess because I didn't make it that time, but a few friends at the show and stuff were there, and they told me this story, that he yelled at the fans.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm sitting there laughing at this going, wait a minute, he was yelling at the deaf fans.
I've heard this a couple times, and I can't remember who told me about this, but I think Chuck Roberts used to announce at those shows. And there was a certain point where he did a mic check, and he asked, "Can you guys hear me okay?" It looks like lost the hangout here. We'll
hang on again.
That joke was so good, you fucked up.
Listen, for the record,
for that one.
For the record, they can read lips.
Oh,
Chachi, you're right. Yeah, they can read lips.
Yes, they can. All right, with that, and also Ciro in the chat room. What?
Oh, you forgot AJ.
AJ.
I thought AJ never went to Indy.
I'm going to save Bobby here. Let's save my good friend Bobby. Hey, Bobby, you remember that time we went to the house show?
Oh, yeah, that was like an indie wrestling
That was basically indie wrestling.
It was. We got Dolph Ziggler to yell at us.
No loopholes.
So here's
No
the
loopholes.
Bobby and I have not been to an indie show.
Yeah. I've watched AON on TV, if that counts.
Right. That's a whole lot further than me. But I will say this. Bobby and I went to an indie wrestling show. It wasn't an indie wrestling show. It was it SmackDown or Raw? I can't remember.
It was SmackDown.
Was it SmackDown? So it was the SmackDown house show in Johnstown. There was maybe a grand total of like 500 to there was like 500 people there. There wasn't that many.
Yeah.
And there was no light. There was just a light above the ring. There was one curtain, no extra lights. There was a speaker playing the regular theme music.
Sheamus counted as an extra light.
Sheamus did count as an extra light. This is when Sheamus was new. And they're like, people were really starting to give him like crap for his
one shade away from being clear.
One shade away from being clear. But there was just a lot of good interaction. One of the more underrated moments that entire night was Crime Time. If you remember Crime Time,
money.
Yo,
Yeah.
Papa 40. Check your rollies. It's crime time.
They had Shad actually comes out and he steps. It was a corded mic for Justin Roberts, and he comes out and he steps on the cord, and Justin Roberts has no idea that he's done this. And I forget who they were wrestling at the time, but whoever was the other team came out after them, and Justin Roberts goes to pull up the mic and goes wham, and like stops real hard and just like looks at them like real carefully and notices that it's stuck under Shad's shoe. And he just starts pulling on the shoe, and Shad's going, "What? There's nothing. What are you looking at me for? What are you looking at me for?" And then, like, he finally lets go, and Justin Roberts almost hits himself in the face with the mic.
Wasn't it Kane and Khali?
No.
That is my dream match.
That would have just been a dream match.
No, that was Kane versus
Stop
Khali.
saying that.
Kane versus Khali.
Oh, that was awful.
That was the
Wow.
actual match at this house show. So,
What
Justin,
about
you
Kane
would have
versus
your
Khali
dream
in a
match.
submission only match?
No.
The other fun parts of that match.
That would be an indie show.
Was Dolph Ziggler giving a guy a noogie and me calling him out on it from 40 feet away.
Did you give him a purple nurple?
Did you just give him a noogie?
What?
What?
Looked right at us.
Looked right at us and yelled what at me. And then see him doing sit-ups in the ring in front of a fat lady holding a baby on her.
Yeah, on her
That
hip.
was also amazing.
Oh,
Some of those indie shows where the house shows there, like the one in Elmira we went to was great. It was we were only 9 rows back, and that was the end of the floor.
Yeah, if you're going to go to a WWE house show, don't go to the big ones. We've said this before.
Go in Johnstown.
Go to Johnstown if they ever come back. They're going to be in West Virginia. They're going to Wheeling and Huntington.
Yeah. I think those would be good drives for somebody around Pittsburgh.
That's an absolutely wonderful drive. Go ahead, take that drive, enjoy the scenery, and then
Wheeling is fun. I've been to a couple of Wheeling ones.
And then watch West Virginia people gawk at wrestlers. It'll be worth your drive every time.
Actually, I do have a Wheeling story. The one that I went to was the house show before the Chris Benoit Triple H Iron Man match on Raw. And they went 45 minutes at the house show the night before the 60-minute Iron Man match between Chris Benoit and Triple H on Monday Night Raw.
Nice.
Also,
can you say that name on this show?
Yeah, we say it all the time on here.
Who was that? I never heard of that guy before.
I don't remember. I never heard of him either. But it just seems it just seems typical that I would bring up somebody that might have done something that was not mentionable on any form or level in society.
AJ,
We started.
Did he bring up Canadian Wrestler X?
Yes, he did.
What?
He did.
Yes, he did.
All right, guys, let AJ finish here.
I was going to say if you're going to be in the Wheeling area, I was wrong. That was Weirton, not Wheeling. If you're in the Weirton area, go across the river, go to Steubenville. They have Tim Hortons. Get their donuts. They're delicious.
Yes. I watched. I think I watched some. I think I watched some indoor football in Steubenville. I know I've seen some in Wheeling.
The bird.
You know. So
it's the Burb of the Berg.
You know,
it's a 45-minute drive.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad.
It is far as hell away.
Zero in the chat is saying his first indie show was in El Paso. It was a Lucha Libre show with all locals. That promotion probably never made it out. I remembered it had Cobarde versus Octagon, and this was like 20 years ago.
I've never heard either one of those two.
I'd like to address the chat room.
Hey, Fetus Mike today. Have you heard of these guys before?
Fetus Mike today.
You wrestle fan.
Wow.
What?
Hey,
No,
here we
seriously,
go.
I'm asking a serious question. Have you heard of these gentlemen before? Fetus Mike today.
I'm sorry, I literally can barely hear you right now.
Yeah, AJ, you're a little low. We're gonna have to work on that in the break here.
Well,
But
hold on. Let me raise the tone of my voice. Fetus Mike today. Have you heard of these two gentlemen in the chat room?
Okay. I have heard of Octagon because I know of his midget counterpart, Octagon Cito. The other one I
Yes!
That doesn't mean you have to yell too, WrestleFan.
I can hear you just fine.
Question answer.
Wow.
Okay, anyhow.
It's silent. There's a pin drop.
I bring the mic today to the show.
All right, Chachi.
Haythorn in the chat room brought up the fact that my cord kept getting wrapped around the photographer in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that the photographer is supposed to stay out of my way.
Yeah.
That's true.
He doesn't
As a
have a cord.
photographer, I have to
You're
admit
trying
that.
to do a job. Can we put that out there? It's the
supposed to work
videographer's
together.
space first, right?
It's
The
my.
videographer is working for the fucking promotion.
Well, no. Actually, it's the wrestler's space.
Oh,
first.
so yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You get out of the wrestler's
Yeah.
way.
I work around the
Everybody else
wrestlers.
gets around your fucking way because you're tethered and you can't
Right.
go anywhere.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the photographer's supposed to stay the fuck out of my way.
That's right. That's
I
right.
do
So
video
we're gonna
and
invest in some
photography, but
wireless
the
cameras.
photography, you got to stay out of the video man way.
That's not happening.
No,
If
wireless cameras. That can't happen.
Chachi, establish dominance. Kick him in the balls.
Oh,
There you go.
I pushed him out of the way a couple times.
Well, you need to establish
Yeah, then you make
dominance
some
early.
nachos.
You need to
I
jump
used
in
to.
and put him on his back and let him know who's the alpha
Oh.
dog here.
Pee on him and mark your territory.
There you go. There you go.
The sad thing is, if I would piss on him, that would be the least weird thing that happened at that event.
Right. And that's why you do it.
Yeah,
because
that's true. And you
it's
haven't even seen
normal.
Aftershock
You
yet.
know?
All right, guys, we got to move on here. And also, Matt Carlin said his first indie show was around 2001 in Titusville. Larry Zbysko wrestled. It was great. So there you go. Yeah, video greater than still photogs. Thank you. All right, it says his fault.
I just got
100%.
married.
All right, guys. With that, thanks everybody for your remember when here. Let's go straight into the minute of mayhem. We'll be right back. Wrestling Mayhem.
Hey guys, it's Mad Mike here once again with your Minute of Mayhem. Now, Raw was pretty interesting this week. It was nice to see Brodus Clay get a little bit of character development before he was, squashed for the Big Show. The same thing with the tag champs. Very interesting. I mean, I know we're trying to build up Big Show as a monster, but did he have to squash, a fourth of the mid-card face roster in WWE? I don't really think so. And also, this was the first Raw without Cena in a long time, especially considering it was Memorial Day. I don't know. I mean, he did the voiceover shit, but that's just a little weird that he wasn't on it. And also, listened to the show last week, and Chachi, if you ever accuse me of not watching TNA and lying to the Mayhem fans again, I swear to God, I will skull fuck you with an actual off Hot Wheels' chair. That being said, I'm not going to be able to watch TNA live this week. I have a date. I actually see women, unlike half of you guys, except for Sorg, who's married and shit. But I will try and do a Google Hangout when I do watch TNA. I doubt anyone will join, considering I usually watch TNA when I get home from the bar at 2 in the morning. But the Google Hangout, I'll try and make it available for everyone. If people are up and bored, and I know some of you do that, and you can hear my reactions, because this is the first TNA I'll be watching without any spoiler knowledge, so it should be interesting. But Brooke Hogan, really? So we're doing Brooke Hogan, and that little, I saw the promo on TNA for 10 seconds, and she's not even good in that. I don't even know how it's gonna turn out, but what the hell? It's progress, or something. Alright, well, this is Mad Mike for the minute this week. Take care. Spike your hair, bitches. Oh, and WrestleFan, awesome job in the interview last week. Well done, sir.
He said he was gonna skull fuck me with an axle off your wheelchair.
Oh,
Because I told him, or I accused him of not even watching TNA, just reading what happened and copying and pasting, which I still think he did based on the post he put up today.
Really?
In the outline form that it was.
Really?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he just.
But he always does it in outline form.
No, I don't care.
No, I don't pay attention.
Did somebody say skull fuck?
I love you, man.
Chachi,
All right.
I love you, man.
All right.
I
I'm
will
done.
not
I'm
let
done.
him
That's it.
talk
Last
like
one.
you
Last
would.
one.
All right, what's going on in the hangout there?
Everybody's getting skull fucked.
Oh, I see.
Nobody's
Really?
getting skull fucked. Wheels is not giving up his wheelchair for skull fuckery. Also, Mad Mike,
Come on,
please
man, be a
stop
team
using
player.
Back Riders gimmick. Please stop.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Bo Diggity.
Bo Diggity, this is a real gimmick.
Bo Diggity.
It was generated by Chachi on a night I wasn't here.
Oh, diggity!
That's right. I wrote that shit.
You did.
I'm
I'm not going to take credit for Bo Diggity.
I'm more
I
talented.
can only bring the character to new levels.
Exactly.
Chachi built the foundation.
I
I'm
did.
building the house on top of it. That's how it goes.
Exactly. I'm better than half the WWE writing staff.
Chachi Wayne Brady.
That's
bitch.
right. We don't let anybody go from the Mayhem show for not having anything for them.
No, we make something for them.
That's right. That's
No,
right.
let's be honest. I didn't need.
No,
but
you
Chachi
didn't.
provided.
No, you
and I
didn't
took
need.
it.
And now you don't have to worry about being let go.
Right.
Does that mean I'm like the Santino of the show? Because I got the puppet?
Yes.
Yes.
And wait, what am I?
Wait, what am I?
You're the
I know
Riz.
you are, but what am I?
You're the
Like
Riz.
the Miz.
Well,
Thank you.
I know WrestleFan is the John Morrison.
/
Yeah.
Indy TNA.
Wow.
Yeah.
TNA.
Don't give him that much
You
credit.
know what? I'll take it
have
as a compliment. That's fine.
Yeah,
No.
to not have
No,
Dads
that
and
means by me
let's
saying you're
see.
John Morrison, that means you're going to be squashed for 15 shows in a row and then
Hey, that's
featured
cool.
endeavored.
That's cool because I'm
Bang.
getting paid. I'm getting paid.
All right, guys, let's talk. Let's talk video games for a moment here.
You
This is
don't-
the news.
You don't get paid for this.
First of all, WWE 13 got announced. A bunch of crap leaked yesterday before Raw. We got the cover.
Blah,
Yay.
blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
You know what?
You can break the ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
Oh! Like I said before, that game is going to be fun for 4 days.
I'm still having fun with WWE 12, so shut up.
I am. You know, I am.
I'm still having
And
fun
I,
with SmackDown versus Raw 1. Fuck all of you people.
I'm just excited to break the ring.
I want.
I know, but that's the thing with every WWE video
Shut
game
up.
nowadays. They add a couple little features that you want.
yeah.
Like, oh, we have an Inferno match now. Oh, now you can break the ring. Like, it's just little things that you want. And but it's the same game.
This is why I will never take your opinion on video games seriously.
It's
Ever.
the truth.
But then I go back to it though, and I asked you this to think about, because I mean, how much trouble you've talked about glitches that you have with WWE 12. The online thing is still a tragedy. I tried to download a few guys, and it would freeze for a whole minute after I was done with each one of them. I tried playing online. That was a freaking travesty, especially after something like playing Call of Duty or Batman Imposters, Gotham City Imposters. I'm sorry. After all that and that train wreck, and I don't think they're going to fix it. Why would they even bother at this point? But now that they're announcing the new one, are you going to bother to get WWE 13?
The only thing...
No,
let Chachi go.
Go ahead.
The only thing that is putting doubts in my mind as to whether or not to get WWE 13 is the fact that it's still being released by THQ.
Yeah, it's the same team. It's going to be It's going to be a little bit of an upgrade, just like they do with Madden every year, and that's about it. What do you got, WrestleFan?
Well, my thing is, I think I will get eventually WWE 13, just because that's habit for me as a wrestling fan. I'm not going to pay $60 for it when it first comes out.
No, no.
Hell no.
Colin Shens.
I'm going to wait a couple months until the price goes down. And then maybe I'll think about it.
And see if all the reviews come back and see if the servers are an issue here.
Price won't go down in a couple months.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No.
I think
That just goes to show.
I might have got $10 off mine. I might have got mine for $45, maybe off of Amazon, and that was around Christmas. The thing comes out in October.
Clearly nobody heard that you can break the ring in this game. Are you kidding me? I'll pay $70. I actually already pre-ordered the game. I'm gonna be Big Show and Khali and Kane. Triple threat, break the ring every time.
The sad part is, I see him actually pre-ordered the game already.
For the John Laurinaitis cover, I'm
yes.
sure.
That's what I want.
Yes, I wanted the John Laurinaitis.
You know how pissed I was when I saw the Punk banner fall down last night because I was so excited Laurinaitis was on. I already had it, like, my credit card number was typed into the website.
This is
Thank God I
WWE
didn't
Executive
click
Vice
submit.
President of Talent Relations, John Laurinaitis.
AJ, were you saying something?
Yeah. See, here's the deal. Wrestling fan, you say you're going to buy it and because that's the habit of a wrestling fan. I am a wrestling fan, and I am not going to buy this game. Much like I didn't buy WWE 12 or 11 or 10, and I think I bought SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 because it was used. You're buying it because you want to play the game, but you want to be like the cool kid who doesn't want to like play the game first day. You want to like hold out. Just buy the game first day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
Just
the
build your
hipster Wrestle
character.
fan.
I think he's made a point.
Like, just buy the damn game. Who cares?
Hey,
You're not going to save any money unless somebody gets you like a gift card, which is possible.
And you don't want to buy it used because then you gotta pay $12 to get the online play, which maybe you don't want to bother with the online play.
Exactly. It's online now. Why would I even bother?
Yeah, the
How else do
online
you get
doesn't
your
work.
Justin Plummer DLC? Create a character. I don't know.
I would download that.
Or
Just
if I
where is that?
can figure
Throwing
out
it
how
out
to
there.
play against people when it does work, that their whole moveset is punch, 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 finisher.
Hey, hate the
you're
player,
wrestling
not
blog
the
gossip.
game.
I do hate the player.
Well, you're blaming
Have
the game.
Have you played
I blame the
Street Fighter?
servers. The servers are bullshit.
It's not the
It's-
servers. It's the people you're playing that do the punch,
I-
punch, punch,
I
punch,
know,
punch,
but
punch,
I
punch.
know,
The
but the
servers
servers
are the
suck,
worst
is
in
my
video
point.
game history.
No, the servers are bad. Don't get me wrong. I hate the servers, but that's not what he was saying.
He's talking about
combined with
them just
combined with
using
the
the
two.
punch, kick,
If
punch.
I do get into a game without the server sucking, it's gonna be against somebody that punches like 20 million times.
Have you ever played Madden Online? It's the same thing.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Street Fighter?
Yeah, I mean
Punch,
that's
punch, punch,
that's
punch,
online
punch,
play.
punch,
You know,
Mortal Kombat.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
Mortal Kombat. I was gonna say.
Hadouken!
I play a lot of Street Fighter 4.
You're
It's
always going to
ridiculous up
find
there.
somebody who can play the online,
Over and
who's going to play
over
the
again.
game, and they have this same strategy in every one, and it's to do something super duper annoying, but it wins every time.
Soul Calibur,
How-
Killick.
It's how online video games work.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
do
say.
what we do with
Blanca's
Call of
Electric
Duty,
Shock.
we just play in our own group
With each
I
other.
started
Play
to
with
say
each other?
play with
Yeah,
each other,
you're
and
gonna say
I
play
held
with each
myself
other.
back. We
Now,
play in our
see-
own group, and then we
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
I was gonna
exactly.
say.
But then
Because
that's
if-
and that's the
if
problem
you-
in itself with the online mode. I remember me and DJ Lunchbox tried to play. I think not WWE 12, but it was the one before that, and we couldn't do it because like it said something like we didn't have the same downloadable content.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
the
we
design of the game.
eventually worked out that problem, and then the server was so bad that I didn't know it was the server. I genuinely thought my internet was lagging, and I thought, oh, I need faster internet.
Well, that's
And-
the thing.
And
Usually
I
when
never ever fucking tried to play online ever again.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, if it's gonna be this bad, I'll play Call of Duty and it'll be fine.
I've tried online play a total of 2 times.
Yeah. And I mean, you figure, usually if you like have a headset, you know the person that you're either going to wrestle is like a 12-year-old or some kid that, like Russell Fan said, is doing just that punch thing because they know it's going to mess with the actual person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And it's not the
I
fact
win
that they do
match
that. It's the fact
way.
that why would I put my effort into something where the server you're barely going to get anything with the server? Why would I put my effort into that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, but I think the best thing is to, like, have friends that are playing it. Why don't we? And well, I guess that's why we don't play together because we have all tried going on there. It's
We
been
can't.
so abysmal.
It's because all you assholes have
I was gonna
Xbox.
say,
That's why I don't
how
play
many
together.
times did you?
Come on.
Oh,
how
sorry.
many times have you tried to download WMS Arena or Chachi or anybody like that?
Just once, and it worked fine.
It did
It did.
work? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I asked him to re-upload,
Yeah.
I went home, I downloaded it, it worked fine.
That's
The
good. That's
downloadable
good.
content or the creation thing works well. It's just
Not all the
actual.
time.
What the
No,
fuck is
sir.
wrong with you?
No,
It's
no,
all-
it does not.
No, it
No, it
doesn't.
does
No,
not.
I'm sorry. It actually, I had to restart my Xbox at one point.
Really?
It was that bad. I tried it
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday or Sunday maybe, and it was so bad. I either had to restart my Xbox because I can't even back out of what's going on.
Yep.
Now,
I've had that problem.
let's go back from the chat room. First, Zeros hopes that we get Skater Dude Johnny Ace. Matt Carlin says Attitude Era Undertaker has Hellgate's finisher. What? And that's a big thing with this. I guess they're going to do a lot of Attitude Era kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw apparently it's like 30-something wrestlers, like 7 divas, and 30 Attitude Era wrestlers.
Okay.
So you're gonna have Stone Cold again, The Rock, DX.
I would be interested to see
D'Lo Brown.
Because they're having get a D'Lo Brown, get a Gangrel, get a.
I want everyone in the audience.
I'm
You're looking at the real name now. Bring it on.
And the oddities come out with ICP, you know. That's how you do it.
And if we don't see Mae Young's titties in this game, I'm not buying it.
Oh God!
Wow.
I've been waiting for that since No Mercy.
Let's
be honest, that's been a
on a
while.
daily basis. It's a bad day. So,
what else is going on here? Don West.
Aww.
dead at the age of wait.
No. He left TNA. Don West.
No.
What?
I'm still sad. Listen.
Shut the fuck up, Wrestle fan. Nobody gives a shit about Don West leaving TNA. Fuck Don West. I didn't even know that motherfucker was still employed. Fuck him in his mustache having, too loud talking, trying to sell you shit you don't need, asshole. Fuck you, Don West. I didn't like you when you were on the air, and I sure as fuck didn't give a shit when you were off the air. Fuck Don West.
He was annoying. Yes, he didn't know shit about wrestling, but god damn it, he had passion.
He could sell you a freaking Matchbox car.
Don West couldn't sell me shit.
No, listen to me.
Thank you.
Watch the
Thank
first
you,
ever
Chachi.
TNA
Thank you,
pay-per-view.
Chachi.
He flipped shit over a Hurricane Rana. That's fucking passion.
Who cares?
No, you want to know what passion
I
is?
flipped shit over a hip toss.
Hip toss! Hip toss! Oh my God!
He wanted to die nightly. That's really what it was. He was going as hard as he could to give himself a
Who doesn't, though?
for having to watch a garbage product on a nightly basis. He was just
You've
trying
got
real
to
hard.
order now!
And so he went
It's
to
3 a.m. I'm selling knives!
At the end of the day, he was just like, Dixie, I have to go sell knives at 3 in the morning because, for the love of God, I've tried killing myself here and I just can't do it. Fuck Don West.
Ciro says Taz makes him
Fuck
miss
Don
Don West.
Exactly.
I mean, there is that.
Because why would you rather a dude that sort of talks well but has no fucking passion in what he's talking about?
I'd rather not listen to either one of them. They both suck.
Yeah, they both. That's what
we can't have that
Ever since I watched
perfect world.
TNA, but the last time I watched it on mute.
What I mean, if you could pick a dream announcing team, 2 men, not 3 men, because 3 men suck. What would it be? I know I'm getting a little off topic here. Hey, Sorg, I'm taking your role. Look out! I just threw something out there.
Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone.
Oh, Tony!
Oh, wow.
Disgusting. I hope someone hits you.
No, not Mike Tenay.
I go Schiavone and I go Jim Ross and Mike Tenay. I would actually enjoy doing that.
Mike
food.
Tenay.
I accept that. I can
Mike
accept that.
Tenay didn't provide
Give
anything
me
other
Tenay.
than facts about wrestlers that we didn't know.
No.
That's
Tenay,
what
but
you
Tenay.
do, and we still have you on this fucking show.
That's
Oh, diggity just burned you.
Hey, Foreign says
You set me up like
Macho
that. I'm taking it out of the park,
Savage.
son.
Joey Styles and a broom from Zero.
Hey, that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Hayforn says Monsoon Heenan, the best ever. No, but no,
Yeah.
seriously, I think Tenay. I don't like Tenay as the play-by-play guy, like as the straight guy there. Like he was good as the supporting fat dude, you know. But now he tries to sell so hard, and you know, like everybody says, he just seems like more of a show now.
It only took
You know?
32 Viagras for Hogan to keep it up for the entirety of his porn. That's a Mike Tenay fact for you.
Hold on. Ciro makes a good point. William Regal and Jim Ross are killing it in FCW.
That's what I hear. I can't wait for that stuff to start showing.
I've heard some of it. It's amazing.
Did you say best supporting fat guy?
You know what? Though, Jim
What?
Ross, I think
Yes,
arguably.
that
All right,
goes to
AJ?
Mark Mack.
AJ?
I think arguably Jim Ross is the best modern era announcer,
Yeah.
and I think adding in there was a slight magic to King and Jim Ross because Jim Ross was the straight man and King was over here being wacky
And perverted and all that.
and perverted and all that other
When
crap.
he was all
But I think-
healing it up.
But I think that if you add in somebody like, I think if you added in a Tenay or a Regal or somebody who just has that pure knowledge and is just going to bring all of that knowledge to the table, I think you just get like a really informative announce team.
So even CM Punk.
That isn't trying to be bigger than the show.
So Booker T
wasn't.
You know, hey, let me throw this out to this guy. Now, I don't know how many people are watching Ring of Honor on TV lately. Probably none of you.
Oh, it's good.
Nope.
But
wait, Ring of Honor's on TV?
Yes, it is.
When?
Okay.
No, really, when?
11 o'clock Saturday nights.
It's 5 o'clock Saturday nights, 11:30 Sunday nights.
That's right.
On 22. Here in Pittsburgh. My TV here in Pittsburgh.
Midnight's here.
I have an update on my phone. I didn't think you cared because I thought you considered it indie wrestling.
5 p.m.?
No, yeah, 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
Well, most Saturdays I'm with you, so I'll have to watch it at 11:30 on.
And it's online as well.
Why are we woeing?
So,
why are we woeing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyways, my point is, if you watch that lately, they've been having a pretty decent announce team tandem with.
I don't, because you don't tell me these things. Just throwing it out there.
With
Josh,
Kevin,
for you.
With Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty good.
I've been kind of enjoying that team up, and I kind of would like Nigel McGuinness to get stolen by TNA. I wouldn't be mad about that. Again, for announcing.
Yeah.
Also, great episode of Art of Wrestling.
See that.
You know what? Best announcing team ever. The IWC commentary team.
Wait a minute. Which one? Because I'm going to get the boot at Super Indy, but are you talking about like the local shows, the travel shows where I get to announce? Because I agree.
That's right. That's right. Justin Plummer.
I was wearing a coonskin cap in
I
West
know.
Virginia.
That's why I give you props.
Justin
you go
Plummer,
that extra mile.
Justin Plummer and Sassy Steph. There you go. Right there. The best.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
That was a good one. But I just want to let everybody know I paid $14 on eBay out of my own pocket. And a lot of Aftershocks that you see, I spend more than I make to bring that product out there. So I spent $14 on that coonskin cap that nobody ever got to see. But I felt good. I feel like it.
I gotta say, it did not make the DVD.
It didn't?
It did not make the DVD, but that doesn't mean I don't have footage of it.
I was going to say, you had to have gotten something from the street fight.
Oh, yeah, we might have got you in the street fight. I haven't looked back closely to that, but you guys probably made an appearance in the street fight.
Because I was running around the
I started slapping at, like, I was doing this when Gory got close to me because I got scared. I didn't know what to do, so I kind of, like, just started panicking.
So it was you and
it worked. He didn't get me.
Wow. Okay.
Wait a minute. This means
that is
Justin
a great
was
defense.
doing this. He was going type thing then.
Yep. Wow. All right. We talked about TNA is getting sued.
No.
WWE's getting sued. Wait, WWE's. Oh no, it's a TNA lawsuit. I'm reading it wrong. Okay. Who's following this? Who's got legal knowledge here? Because I don't.
Your wife.
Where's David Otunga?
Where is
David Otunga, attorney at law?
He's probably the one. He's probably the one representing
TNA.
All right, LB.
TNA is suing WWE because WWE hired a wrestler in that, or maybe not a wrestler,
He's a
somebody
writer.
who.
I think he's a writer.
Shut up! Somebody who used to have inside knowledge for TNA, and they brought it over to WWE, and they claim that WWE is using that insider knowledge to poach their talent and undermine TNA contracts and so on and so forth. So
and it's interesting, because of the news that
let him finish.
WWE and the person, I don't remember the guy's name. I want to say he was in production, but they're suing both of those people for more money than they.
Apparently the guy involved is Brian Wittenstein, who worked for TNA from 08 to 11. But yeah, and they said the report notes that WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair attempted to terminate his TNA contract and did not show up for scheduled dates in May, and the timing seemed suspect as WWE allegedly waited 3 weeks to share information with TNA of Wittenstein's actions and subsequent dismissal. I mean, and I wonder if this is also connected with the fact that Alex Shelley also just left.
Yeah, I was about to say that. There's rumors Shelley's going to WWE.
Yeah, for the supposed cruiserweight show that's going to be on WWE Network. So, wow. And if they're doing something like that where they can pull in more talent because of projects on WWE Network, you're going to see a lot more, thankfully, a lot more guys getting jobs with WWE that may not have had a chance otherwise.
Yep.
So
this guy in his contract signed something like a no-compete clause or a gag clause or whatever, then they have a case. But if that specific language wasn't in the contract, then they're just throwing money against the big WWE wall.
Yeah, or making noise.
What this feels like to me... go on.
Go ahead.
Can I just say, like, what this feels like to me is the TNA is suing WWE because of their people rage quitting over to WWE. That's basically all it is. And you can't really sue people for wage quits at all. Because it's their choice. They want to go over, and you know.
Yeah.
There's another. Yeah. Speaking of another one, Matt Morgan's also rumored.
Yeah. I mentioned.
I was going to say him.
Yeah.
Well, you sit there and you think about this from like back then. It's like, okay, if like Lunchbox said, it's not the whole. If it's not in that contract that he couldn't talk about it, then they have no case, and it's just basically like having WWE versus WCW all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I got one, kids.
Uh-oh.
I got one.
Do it, Bo Diggity.
Bo Diggity.
Actually,
drop
one of these contracts. I can kind of speak to this. My actual work that I do that pays me the money that is also the reason why I currently live in Flair Country. As part of signing on to my job, I actually had to sign an agreement that stated that if I were to leave my current company, that I could not go to anyone who is in a competitive position against my current company or has an active business partnership with my company.
Yeah.
It's legally binding.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, TNA is stupid.
Yeah.
But I can also see TNA not doing that because they have their wrestlers wrestling on indie events. And I could see them saying, you know what, that's technically a competition for us, and we don't want to get into legal hassling if this guy says, I don't want to be in TNA anymore, and he goes and works there, and so on and so forth. They could specifically provision in there that he would not be allowed to go to WWE, but I think that would be a very... it'd be very specific to put into a contract. Generally, a contract has much more broader terms than that. If this is true, and there's a number of TNA wrestlers who now the WWE now knows their contract expiry dates, which I'm pretty certain are easy enough to find. I'm not saying that this is terribly hard information to find. I'm just saying that this one dude who got hired for the writing staff, by the way, WWE, why are you hiring a guy who's worked for an inferior product for 3 years? Writing staff?
They've hired worse.
Three steps back here, kids.
Yeah. They've hired worse. Really, come on.
Number one, and number two, this guy putting out confidential information. Really, TNA, you tape your crap like 3 weeks in advance. I think everybody knows where you're going with your storylines and pay-per-views and that sort of thing.
Exactly. So
I really think that this is a mountain being made out of a molehill. I think the more interesting part here is Flair wanting to get out of his TNA contract, and I also think that there's other things here. I've seen Alex Shelley being mentioned here as well. I mean, that sort of thing. If it does come back and there's that, I'm sure that WWE and TNA will go into a nice courtroom, and two well-paid people in suits will talk it out and say, "Hey, this is what my clients want to do. This is what my clients want to do." And ta-da, everything will go away. I don't think anything's going to come of this, but I think it's very interesting that Flair wants out of his contract.
Yeah.
Given his current financial situation, having to do energy drink commercials in North Carolina,
It puts the woo back in my woo.
There's one where he flies out of the sky and lands on a sidewalk in the concrete cracks. I'm just saying.
Oh my god, get these on YouTube, man.
They are on YouTube.
They're like Stacker 2 something. They're like a rip-off Stacker 2
Yeah, they're
commercial.
like a Stacker 2 ripoff. That's the funniest part of all. They are a ripoff of a ripoff of a ripoff.
Chach?
Number one, I don't want to see Flair in WWE.
I don't either, and I love Ric Flair,
They'll do
but
more
I
with
don't
him.
want to see him there.
I just saw his son yesterday.
I just don't want him to wrestle.
Okay. Nah, I don't think he will.
No. Number two, I don't want to see Matt Morgan in WWE.
Because he can't wrestle?
Right. For the same exact reason I don't want to see Flair in WWE.
No, I think Morgan's good, actually.
Shut your mouth.
I like Morgan.
No,
I
like Morgan.
I don't.
I like Morgan.
I think he's
Morgan in a
terrible.
Sin Cara mask, and no one will know.
I like turtles.
I think he's terrible.
But no, the problem with Morgan being there is just going to fill up another spot for, a Tensai, Ryback, whatever
Well,
the
who
fuck.
cares? Because he's gonna get paid more than TNA.
He is going to get paid more than IWC.
That's probably correct. Yes.
And as far as this
Are you kidding? We
TNA,
make the big bucks in IWC.
and as far
You
as-
got this office.
Here's the biggest issue of all.
Yeah.
The WWE likely won't go after Matt Morgan. He adds, and like you guys said, he adds another monster heel. The problem is the WWE doesn't know what to do with monster heels. They've flailed over and over and over again. They're not even failing; they're just flailing. They're just getting big dudes to come in and do things. We don't know anything about Ryback, whether he's going to be a face or heel. He's just a dude who comes out and beats up two dudes at a time. And then you get Tensai, who's clearly a heel, but then disappeared over the last week or two. And they just don't do things correctly. Now they got Big Show as a monster heel. They have Kane as a monster heel. If WWE, here, let me help you with this. Is the easiest booking you could possibly do. Ready? You have a monster heel. You have him destroy everything and win the title. And then he is the monster heel with the title. And then you have multiple faces trying to get the title from him. It's the easiest booking in the world. This guy looks good. You have a bunch of other guys who don't look, who can then fight him, and if they lose, well, they lost to a dude who's 7 feet tall and 500 pounds. How hard is that? But you screw this up all the time. You do this all the time. You have Kane lose by getting whatever John Cena wants to call that move into a pile of boxes off the top of an ambulance. Really? This guy controlled fire 3 weeks ago. Are you kidding me? This dude had magical powers.
He had a lightning fight.
He had a lightning fight. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's getting thrown off an ambulance and oh shit, Kane's gone forever. What? Are you kidding me? This is why you can't have monster heels anymore, WWE. Leave Matt Morgan alone. Just let him wander away in TNA.
You gotta say though, Mark Henry, I think, was a really good example of what they could do with somebody.
But now what's he doing?
Yeah. Well, now, but I mean, how expect
Stacker 2 commercials?
No. Well, I mean, you expect Mark Henry to be a monster heel for a year? No. I mean, how many people do they have and they're cycling them through? I mean, Mark Henry
you know
had
what
his
he
time
needs
and
to
they
do?
moved on.
He needs to dance with Brodus Clay.
Oh,
you know what they do? This
like
is
to see
the
that.
other problem. Is that because the WWE doesn't know what to do with a monster heel, they start putting the monster heel into places he doesn't need to be. Insert Kane into a perfectly good Daniel Bryan CM Punk feud. Why is he in that?
I hope that does not turn into a triple threat match.
No.
There's
Insert
absolutely
Tensai into this John Cena, John Laurinaitis thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
At the time, they had Tensai as the big monster heel protecting Laurinaitis. And then this whole Big Show thing happened, and that got Tensai out of the picture. The Kane and the Daniel Bryan CM Punk feud makes me want to throw things. And I was driving when I watched Raw this morning. I was like, what?
Wow. That's kind of weird.
I'm literally watching it going, why is Kane in this? Why is Kane in this? No, seriously, why is Kane in this? What is he? Why is okay? So Daniel Bryan hits him with a chair and then runs away. So then Kane hits CM Punk, and then nothing happens out of that until the Raw after the pay-per-view. So there's no blow off there.
The Wrestling Mayhem show is not responsible for any injuries that occur while watching wrestling and driving. we do not.
Public disclaimer.
Listen, it's way easier to just fast forward and listen than it is to actually watch the garbage that they're trying to insert into a perfectly good feud. I watched the Punk and Bryan match at home.
I stopped watching Raw to play Trials Evo last night.
Not
It's
enjoying the show is what you're trying to tell me.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the problem. It's that they're trying way too hard. They have a perfectly good feud there, and they're going to screw it up with Kane and female me. That's going to happen. They're gonna here.
By the way,
I've already
AJ,
used tonight. They're gonna
AJ,
fuck that up.
You look great in a CM Punk shirt.
Oh,
I certainly
My
do.
God, you look
Dude,
great.
female
By the way,
you.
I just want to say, female AJ and regular AJ have the same boob size. This is true.
Did anybody see Backstage Fallout?
No, I watched it. She is fucking
It's
amazing.
so funny that they asked AJ about CM Punk what she thinks of him. He's like, she's like, he's such a nice guy and everything like that. And they're like, well, do you think you have any chance at a relationship? And she just turned automatically and went, why did he say something? Like it was so funny.
Because that's how I get. My heart gets a flutter. Fuck you.
I want
WWE does.
I want to point out this that I just found that apparently there is a I Dig Crazy Chicks CM Punk T-shirt
Nice.
Oh, great.
Oh, that was fast.
now. That was
Real fast.
that was real fast. That is
I
awesome.
am so buying one.
Dear,
I don't care who has it. I'm
That's,
buying it too. I'm going with that. Sign me up with Hot Wheels.
That's pretty
Give me
awesome.
one.
I can't lie. That's pretty awesome.
I would have done
did you
dirty,
guys see
dirty
the
things
barbershop
to
window
female
T-shirt the
AJ.
other day? The Yes Army T-shirt.
Throwing it out there.
No.
Yeah,
I want one of those too.
pretty awesome.
right.
It was a Kiss Army shirt, but they took out Kiss and put in Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'll see if I can bring that up here. All right, guys. On that note, I think we need to wrap this up. Chachi, before you walk off there,
Before it falls asleep over the corner.
before you all right
Chachi's
there?
dead.
Give me what you learned in wrestling this week, and then you can go do your thing.
What did I learn in wrestling this week? I would do dirty, dirty things to female AJ.
I agree.
Oh, God.
Thanks for being female, me.
Yeah. Well, I would do dirty, dirty things to you too, but I thought that was a given.
Pee on him and mark your territory.
No, most of the would do,
That's how we end the show. We all mark our territories.
No.
Put this on you. This on
I've
you.
already done it.
What we have is clean.
Dave
and pure.
Chappelle.
No, I learned that, wrestling, WWE Raw was boring.
I agree.
I lost
I think it
interest.
was too bad.
I started playing video games as soon as Punk Bryan's was over.
Huh.
Followed by Rick Seaback documentaries on WQED.
That's a solid choice every
Nice.
time.
Yeah.
Nice shirt.
So, I mean, that and WrestleFan proved further tonight why I will never, ever pay attention to any word he has to say about video games ever.
That's insinuating you pay attention to other words that he says.
That is true.
There you go. LB, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that 55% of the WWE universe feels that Kelly wore CM Punk gear better than AJ because WWE.com is currently running a poll: who wore it better, Kelly or AJ?
AJ.
Dressing up like CM Punk.
AJ.
Oh, there it is.
I
found
voted
it.
for
Hold on.
AJ twice.
I voted for male AJ.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Because I wear everything better.
Oh, boy.
Wow. WrestleFan, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned from wrestling this week that David Otunga is the greatest man on the face of the planet.
Shut up.
No,
Mute him.
you shut up.
Face
Him.
now.
Mute him.
First, because he retweeted me not once, but twice on Twitter. That man goes to Twitter like it's nothing, responding to fans. That dude is a fucking amazing man, and he deserves to be U.S. champion. If you want to know how awesome David Otunga is, listen back to last week's Wrestling Mayhem show with our interview with Rachel Sutherland. You'll find out how awesome David Otunga is.
Hey, WrestleFan.
Spoiler
WrestleFan.
alert. he's not.
WrestleFan. Get off his dick.
I will stay on. Like I said before, it's basically
stay on.
Stay on. I will power bottom that shit. Whoops.
Yes.
Yes. Plummer, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
Oh God, so many things. First of all, one thing we didn't get to touch on: push Dolph Ziggler. I wanted to talk about that so bad tonight.
Yes.
Other than the indies, I love the guy. I feel like we started talking about big heels. You can do the same thing with Dolph Ziggler. He is the friggin' man. He can do it all. Please, please. If there's any way that this broadcast makes it to anybody in the WWE, push the man, please. Another note I had, I was just wondering if anybody else besides me noticed that Vicky Guerrero's dress was made from one of The Rock's old $5,000 shirts, because it was, and I have confirmation on that.
Nice.
Finally, I want to thank you guys for having me. I absolutely had a blast. This was amazing. If anybody watching or joining us or watching in the future has any suggestions for IWC Aftershock, like I said, I've been doing this for a year, but that's all I've been doing it for. So I'm open to suggestions. If you have anything you want to see or anything you want me to do different, email me at iwcaftershock@gmail.com. And everybody, June 23rd, 2012, Core Time Sports Center. It is going to be huge. It's what I think is the most stacked card in Super Indy history. It's Super Indy 11, and I just want to give you a list of competitors here. Of course, you got Michael Facade, your Super Indy champion, defending the title in that tournament. You got Matthew Justice, Gory, Ricky Shane Page, Aiden Vale. Okay, watch out for this Aiden Vale guy. He's amazing. And then you got some outsiders coming in. You got Sami Callihan, Chuck Taylor, Kyle O'Reilly, and former ROH champion Davey Richards, and there's still a spot open. I'm telling you, I wish I could be sitting in the front row and not having Chuck running me around backstage doing all the jobs, because it's going to be an awesome show. Check it out, June 23rd, IWC. It's going to be big, Super Indy 11, and don't forget to check out IWCWrestling.com or IWC Aftershock, of course, hosted by yours truly, to have follow up on everything Super Indy.
Excellent. Quick hits from the Hangout. AJ, what'd you learn?
I learned that I look fantastic on television.
Perfect.
You do.
Bobby, what'd you learn?
I learned I want to pre-order WWE 13 for the John Laurinaitis cover.
No, you don't. Wheels, what'd you learn?
Woo!
What did I learn from wrestling this week?
Quick hit.
I've learned.
Quick.
Okay, quick. What I learned that AJ can look hot in everything
Quick!
she wears.
That's correct.
John Fun, what'd you learn?
Don't screw the boys or we'll screw you.
That's
Anybody need a shirt? Riz, what'd you learn?
I learned that the only thing you have to watch from last week's NXT, Jinder Mahal versus Derek Bateman.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. You're done. Guys, it's been the Wrestling Mayhem Show. WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Follow us on Twitter at Mayhem Show. We're on Facebook. Follow the open group as well on Facebook. Follow the Google Plus, so maybe you can jump in the Hangout too here on Tuesday nights. We are here every single Tuesday night, live.sorgatronmedia.com, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, roundabout. You might catch some gaming in there. Also, check out the app. You get that WMS Gold on your iPhone, iPad, in the App Store, as well as on Amazon App Stores for the Android devices. Also, hey, drop us a line right there. It's on the screen. Good times.
Good times.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. 412-206-WS0 is the hotline. You better get drunk. You better call me. And we'll play it right here on the show. Until that, thanks, Justin, for WrestleFan Chachi, LB, and the Hangout. We'll see you guys next week. Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time.